Question 11 says calculate an estimate of the mean height of the children. So this is really nice nice question here. 4 marks for easy marks. Just go through set procedures every time. So we can't work out a mean because we're told that there are 2 children who are between 20 and 130 centimetres. So it could be anything. They could both be 120, they could both be 130. So we take a guess of where we think they're going to be and we call that the midpoint. Okay? So we go and add a new column called MP for midpoint. So 125, 135 and so on. And what do I do straight under that column?
Make a little scribble.
Why?
Block it out so you don't add it up.
You don't accidentally add it up. People have got a horrible habit of adding that column up and you don't add it up. You do add up the frequency column, and in fact it will probably tell you somewhere in the question what it is. There you go, that should be 55. Am I done?
No, you times the midpoint down.
Good. You multiply the midpoint by the number of people, so MP times F. So I do 125 times 2, because there are 2 people who are within that height of 120 to 130. So we're going to guess and say the pair there would be 250. Okay? The next ones we will need the calculator for. So 8 times 135. 1080. 145 times 13. And 155 times 22. And finally I can do that last one in my head. There we go. And you do add this one up, and that's why people have got this habit of adding up the wrong one. Okay? So now we just add up all those numbers in the midpoint times frequency column. 250 and 1080. So I've got that as 8275. Okay, so then your mean would be that number divided by the frequency. Remember, mean is always add them up, divide by how many there are. How many there are is 55 people. But I do see people divided by 5. Any idea why someone might divide by 5? Excellent, 5 categories. Okay, so it's important that you know about those things and think, right, I'm not going to fall for that mistake. Okay, so when I divide that by 55, I should always be thinking, does that answer make sense? Does that answer make sense?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like there's loads of 150.
Yeah, have a look where it is, 150. Now, it's got to be between 120 and 170, isn't it? Usually it's sort of somewhere in the middle, but if you look at it, the modal class was actually that one there because the most amount of people were in that class. If I looked at the median would be like, what, the 28th person? Now to work out the median quickly, you halve it, but if it's an odd number, you add 1 and then halve it. Okay, so the 28th person, so the first 10 people, the first 23 people now, the 28th person is going to be in this category as well. So it does make sense that he's there. Okay, maybe I'm doing a little bit too much work to answer that, but do I need to go and sort this out? To 1dp or anything? I just leave it as that. I mean, you can do, if you press SD on your calculator, I'll tell you what it is again, but I think this line that I'm doing underneath here is maybe unnecessary. You could say it's 0.5 to 1dp. But I think, you know, that seems like a reasonable thing to say.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay then, so number 10. There's still bits and bobs of this that are actually quite tricky, I think. Don't think 10's easy. Points A and B are in a part connected by a straight path and also a semicircular path as shown below. The radius of the semicircular path is 50, so A to B is 50, yeah?
No, it's 100.
It's 100, just checking. Why is it 100, David? Diameter, yeah, good.
Thank you, Colin.
Clive walks from point A to point B along the semicircular path and then returns to point A. Calculate the total distance that Clive walked, giving your answer to the nearest 10 meters. Okay? Okay, so this bit here, I need to work out. We've already worked out A to B, that's 100. I just need to work this bit out now.
2 pi over 2.
X and y 2 pi r over 2.
Because 2 pi is circumference, then you got half the circumference.
Good. Or you could have done pi d over 2. Either one will give you the same answer, okay? I'm going to do the latter just because I've got and worked out the diameter in my drawing. So that's going to be pi times 100 over 2, which my calculator will be really, really, really helpful and just tell me that's 50 pi. I knew it's 50 pi. I need to press SD to get it out of that mode. And I get 157.07 blah blah blah. So what that is that distance there. So Clive is clearly a bit of a character that likes just to walk around in semicircular fashion. We now need to work out exactly how far he's walked. So he's done 157 metres there and 100. So a total distance of?
257.
Good. She's 267.07, and then well done for not spotting, not falling for the last bit. Said to the nearest 10 metres, so that's 270 metres. What a life, eh? It's just, you know.
It'll be 200%.
Why?
Because you had the 100.
Just checking, yeah. Don't just follow blindly what I'm doing. Okay.
Oh, no.
Nathan, Josh, what are you up to? Playing football. Running for everything as if it was the matter of life or death. You look knackered. Don't you? Where do you play midfield? Striker. Goal hanger. Okay. Some of these will be easy, some of these will be a little bit trickier. Moira scores 78 out of possible 120. Do you know how to work out percentage of the test? What you had out of the total times by 100. Okay, it just goes into calculator like that.
Which form?
65%.
How is this question?
Idris has been awarded a salary increase of 23.5 grand to 23,970 per annum. What percentage per annum? Meaning? Per year. What percentage is salary increase? Well, how much has increase been?
470.
Good. Okay, so it'll be your increase divided by what you had before, and then times that by 100. Okay, or you could write it as change divided by original times by 100. Okay, so I could go and work that out here, so I've got to basically use up all my space in the question, just saying what the formula is, and say that is 490. So that is going to be 490. What was he on originally?
23.5.
Isn't it 470? Yeah.
470. It is, well spotted. God, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't write things down today. Okay, and then times that by 100.
2%.
Oh, 2%. I was like, no, it's definitely times by 100. Sorry. Okay, I thought I'd written down something wrong again then. Okay, all good. 2% wage rise. It's not great.
Underline that one again.
Wants a bit, yeah. Should have worked a bit harder when he's in school. What were you just doing?
I just need to like put my chair underneath my bum.
It didn't look like that.
Fuck off.
All getting recorded, yeah. Your behaviour.
All of these videos that I've watched, I shout at David.
Is it really? A business declares that in each year its office equipment depreciates, depreciating meaning going down in value, decreases, good, at a rate of 18% of its value at the beginning of the year. Find the nearest £100. They're loving a bit of rounding in this question, aren't they? So something like that. Find the nearest £100 the value of the office equipment at the end of 3 years. Okay, now I haven't actually done anything like this with you, so I'm quite pleased that this came up like that. I was expected to do this in our revision day. So it's £35,000, 3 years, 18% depreciation and round it. Okay, so there's two ways you can do it. There's a long way and there's a short way. I'll show the short way first. Should I show the long way first? If I do the long way, then I'll show you what the shortcut is. Okay, so you do first year, and it was 35,000, and then you times by 18 over 100 effectively because it's 18%, and that'll equal whatever it equals. Let's have a look.
Can you times by 1.18?
No, not 1.18 because that'd be adding it on. Okay, you want to take it away. Okay, that's 6,300 quid that it's come to is just as like 18%. You can see in my calculator I wrote 0.18, which is what 18 divided by 100 is. Now, at the end of that year, end of year one, it's going to be that 35 grand, but I'm losing it because it's a depreciation. Now, there is a quicker way around it. If I was adding it on, you're completely right, Sarah. You would have added on the 18% onto 100% to get 1.18. The quick way for me to work out what 35 grand minus that is to get 28,700 would have been 3500 times by, it would have been 0.82. Not, oh, okay, yeah, that's a very, very quick shorthand way of doing it. Good. You stole my thunder, James. It's all right. That goes straight to that answer. The reason why it does it is because you're treating the original as 100%. So if I'm to take off 18%, I find 18% and take it off. I could have just said, well, if I take off 18% from 100%, that's 82%. Find 82% of it, which we obviously can do with a calculator very quickly. Okay. I then just repeat this idea. For the second year, it's now worth 28,780. I times it by 18 over 100. I get my answer, and so on. And just repeat. The much quicker way is to do what James did, which is to do your original sum of money. You multiply it by 100%, 18% here, and this is to the power of 3, and that's because it is the number of years. Now, do you notice there's a gap between my 100 and my 18 so far?
Yeah.
It depends on the literally in the question. When it's depreciate, it means take away. If it was increasing in value, I'd add it. Okay? 100% take away 18% is 82%, and then percent meaning out of 100 divided by 100 is 0.82, and you need it as a decimal. Okay? And then you put that to the power of 3, and it would do what I was starting to do here, but in a much, much, much quicker process. Okay? So let's see, I need to use mine. Do I need that 82 in brackets?
Yeah.
I don't need to. I can put in 100%, take away 18%, and then all divide that by 100. It need to be in brackets, but at the moment, because I've just done that calculation in my head, I don't need to. Okay. So that comes to 297.88. Now, make sure you read what it says in the question. It could say how much is it depreciated by, or it could say what is the value of it. So it says find the value of the office. So that's what the value of the office equipment is now. So current value. How much is it depreciated by? How do I work that out? Good, take away from the original. Well done. Okay, well done. Haven't quite finished yet because said to the nearest £100. Okay, so to the nearest £100, it would be 19,300. All good?
Yeah.
Well done.
Is there a way of checking it?
No, I don't think there is, Dave. That's a good question. It's not as simple as say, oh, find 18% of that, add it on, find 18%, add it on, find 18%, add it on, because it would be doing something called reverse percentages. No, I don't think there is a way of checking that. That's a good question. The reason why you can't do that, if I said to you, you go fresh out of university, you get a wage, say 20 grand a year, working really well, you get a 10% wage rise. So you're up to how many pounds a year? From 20 to 10%? 22 grand, yeah? No, sorry to ask such a hard question. So now, now you can say, oh look, we're hitting a recession, I need to take 10% off your wage. that you're now on, are you in the same amount, more or less?
More.
Why?
No, wait a minute.
A bit less than what.
Why?
Because you're taking away from a larger number.
Yeah, 10% of 22 grand is more than 10% of 20 grand, isn't it? So that'd actually be 2,200 quid. Take that off, you're actually on 19,800. Even though it sounds like it's the same process, it's not. Adding 10% on, then taking 10% off of that new amount, then different, okay? Good question. Okay, right angle triangle, so what is it? Or, why is it Pythag?
Because you haven't got any angles
No angles given, other than the right angle, well done. Okay, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm going to change that formula though because
C squared.
c squared is given. Well done, we're given the hypotenuse. So c squared, take away, should we call that b?
Sure.
Equals a squared. So that's going to be 34.7 squared, take away 26.1 squared, equals a squared.
Yes, sure.
So 34.7 squared, take away, is it 26.1? That comes to, hold a number there, 522.88. That's still a squared, I need just a, so I'm going to square root that to get 522.88. Square root answer is 22.9 to 1 dp centimetres. So those can say, you've got 3 minutes on that. We've done it in about, well, we worked out what to do in about 3 seconds and wrote everything down within 30. So saving an awful lot of time on that sort of question, which is good. This one here, 5 marks.
Sir, can I tell you something really quick? I was really annoyed. I went to the airport in Heathrow, and I was like, here's 20 quid, change it into euros. That's how much
I bet you
euros
could probably go about 20 quid, 20 euros.
They gave me 20 euros.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why shouldn't you do it at the airport then?
You should do it in the.
Because
They know it's your last possible opportunity to do it. The best place to actually get you exchange on your euros is actually on your card, on your bank card. You have to tell your bank you're going abroad. They'll still charge a fee for you using it, but it works out being better than any of the high street things. That's what I found when I've done it when I've gone abroad. The thing you've got to do, be careful of, say that I was just like, oh, I want to take out 10 euros here, 10 euros there. You get charged 150 every time you do it. You've got to take out a load. As long as you're happy carrying like a load of money on you, think I'm not going to get robbed. And then, like, I've never been robbed. So hopefully, I'll get robbed now today by David Aberdeen. Annoyed about not getting enough euros. Yeah. But yeah, it's about 1.4 is actually the exchange rate at the moment. Or last time I went abroad was I think I got 1.38 when I went abroad in the summer. Okay, the best thing to do with this to begin with is to write out what the exchange rate is, and then what's going to go on the top arrow. Have you seen it like this before? I'm assuming you have. Yeah. Times by 1.15. Divide by 1.15. Yeah? So that's basically what that's telling me is to change from pounds to euros, you put your finger on pounds and you follow the top arrow. To change euros into pounds, you follow the bottom arrow. Okay, that's why we do that. So it says, we're going to have to structure our work here carefully. It says, before travelling to Germany, Nicky filled a fuel tank of a car with 40 litres of petrol, which cost 44 quid. Nicky also bought some euros for a trip. The exchange rate was blah, blah, blah. In Germany, she needs to buy another 40 litres, which cost her 0.98 euros per litre. How much less did the 40 litres of euros, sorry, 40 litres of petrol cost in Germany? Give your answer in euros. Okay, so what's our rationale here? What are our steps that we need to do? We certainly need to work out how much the petrol costs in Germany. That shouldn't be too hard. We then need to work out how much the cost in the UK was, but in euros. So we need to work out what that was. Yeah, which was 44 quid, but we need to change that into euros. Then we just need to work out the difference in between. And we need to keep everything in euros because it says, give your answer in euros. Okay? So, the way to do that then, £44 into euros. How would I do that? Times by 1.15. 50.6. Issue with that? Money should always be to how many DPs? 2. So you've got to put in the 0 yourself. So that was, and just say what it was. I know it's not QWC, but just help yourself out. Cost of petrol, UK. Okay, now what have we got to do?
Find the cost of the petrol in Germany.
Good. So we know it costs 0.98 euros per litre, and I bought 40 litres. So 0.98 times 39.2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it costs 39.2 euros. Again, remember, has to be to 2 decimal places. So that's cost in Germany. We literally only got one bit. That's a generous 5 marks. So what calculation am I going to do now?
Take away.
Yeah, literally just take them away. So 50.60 take away 39.20.
Where's that 11, sir?
Thanks for humouring me. I wasn't very happy. If you're not happy with it, on a serious note, just write it again. You know, can you imagine if like you didn't get given it just because the exam was like, oh, sorry, it wasn't obvious, it's 11. Like, it is. It's obvious it's 11 to me. I can't see anything else for you to do. I think that's a pretty nice 5 marks. It's all about just structuring the information, wasn't it? Currency conversion usually gives you 2 marks. Then 0.98 times 40 must be giving you mark. Then taking away must give you the 4th mark. Then, that's a lovely 5 marks. I've got a feeling you might have got up to this bit in your last class. Yeah. Okay, well you can see if your answers are right unless you're confident. By all means, if you want to, just carry on working through like the other side of things, okay? Okay, and so for this one here, it says in this quadrilateral, measuring degrees, find the value of x, satisfy the diagram. So, yeah, have a go. I would have thought you'd do it pretty quickly. I've got no idea. You sounded pretty confident with 20.
Is this sick?
No, I got 5. What if they drew a circle?
Yeah.
All of them are today.
I absolutely no idea what it's talking about. That's sick. Through and through. In this cyclic quadratic, all the angles imagined.
What's it for last one?
Ooh.
That was a joke. That's a funny joke.
Right, okay, I need to figure out this. Right, you 3. Right, you 3. Sorry, what'd you say? Oh, I love that sound. Sound of hollow heads. Love
Hey.
Right. You missed me loads.
Exactly. You all had a great time when you went in.
Do you have 20?
I remember that.
Even
That's
though-
like English class.
Even
Sorry, what?
yes, if you prefer it all day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yes,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was to do this very, very quickly, I'd say that you need to add up all the angles together because I know how much all those angles should add up together. They should add up to make, because,
All angles in a quadrilateral.
good. Okay, so it's literally just solving an equation. You actually get 2 marks to that line. If you add them all together and put them equal to 360, it's 2 marks. You get 1 mark for simplifying, 1 mark for getting, is it definitely 20? Sounds good to me. So 6 plus 3x plus 4x, 13x, take away 2x is 9x. Okay?
Isn't it 11?
Are you sure?
Yes.
I agree. And then 145, add 10 is 155, take away 15, 140.
Yeah.
Yep. equals 360, and then 11x is going to equal 220, so then x is equal to 20.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Yeah, G.
That's not bad, is it? Bad 4 marks. Okay, as soon as I saw this word average speed,
Can you just kick him out soon?
Abadir,
It's alright.
no. Just no.
Sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. So can the microphone, it's picking up everything. Okay, and so biggest trick they'll try and get you in one of these is they'll do it like 1 hour 30 minutes. How do you write 1 hour 30 minutes into a calculator? 1.5. Well done, Josh. Why 0.5?
An hour is 60
Is
minutes.
30 minutes is half an hour, isn't it? 0.5 of an hour.
I would say I change it to 90 minutes.
What's that?
I change it to 90 minutes.
Ah, now if you do it in 90 minutes, it's going to be that you work it out in miles per minute. So you don't say, oh, what's the speed limit on the motorway? Oh, 1 mile. You're like, what, 1 mile? Yeah, 1 mile every minute. That is 60 miles an hour. Okay? This is if I worked it out before, so that's how I get through long journeys. Like, how many miles am I going to do in the next? Especially if you're doing 70, like, ooh, it's more than 1 every 1 minute. Okay, so Kevin drove from Swindon to Newcastle, Swindon. Distance 273. Oh, the first bit's easy enough. Is that, so 9:15 to 4:15? Well, 9 to 12 is how many hours?
2 hours. I'm sorry.
3 hours. And then 12 till 4:15 is another 4 hours, so it's a total of 7 hours. Okay, so that's how I'd work it out, that's what I'm doing in my head. So the distance I'm told, time I've now got, so speed is equal to distance over time. So speed is equal to 273 divided by 7, 39 mph.
It's not very fast.
Well, if you actually look at it, like my car tells me what my average speed is. So if I looked at it from here to Bishop, it's really, really slow. It's like 22 miles an hour. Even though I've been driving at like 40 on the majority of the way here, because like when you get onto Western Avenue, you can drive at 40. So why is my car giving me 22? I stop on the traffic lights all the time.
I used to drive it.
You'll find that even when I drive home, I'm literally on the motorway for like 2 hours, and my average speed is still well under 60 because of that time of getting
You
on.
have 2 hours away from school.
Oh, not to get to my to see my parents at home. It's about 20 minutes, right? Max. On average, his car uses 1 gallon of diesel per 40 miles travelled. A gallon of diesel costs £6.30. Find an estimate for pounds of how much it costs for him for the diesel used on the journey. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, how many miles did he travel?
273.
273. If I divide it by 40, like David said, what will that work out?
6.825.
What will that work out though?
That'll work out like 6.8.
How many gallons?
6.825.
Yeah.
That's how many gallons of fuel is used. Well done. Okay. So from there, I know that a gallon of fuel costs £6.30. It doesn't. Well, does it really? I don't know. It's 4.5 litres is a gallon. It's about it's cheaper than that at the moment. It's much cheaper. It's about £1 a litre at the moment. Just over about £1.05. What's that?
Life lessons.
Yeah. Have this for free.
I'll be honest, I don't really remember that time that you told us about tax.
Oh yeah, do you remember?
You went
Like,
through
you
all
spent
that
like a
and
whole
stuff
hour.
like that. It was
Oh,
the
we can
first
do another
revi-
tax
the
one.
first revision session you told that you made us guess how many things you had to pay.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
depressing, isn't it? Yeah.
You made me so excited for my life.
Oh, honestly, it sucks.
I wasn't
So
there,
sad.
and I'm happy.
That's weird how we did that.
We can do a tax question later if you want.
Oh, can we not?
Can we?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Okay, so 6.825 times 630 is?
42.997.
Say again, James.
0.9975.
James.
Oh, thanks, James.
I don't know.
Oh,
Nine,
in America.
42.99 is it?
775.
99775.
7.
Oh my
Just one
God.
7.
75.
4 digits.
So next
Nine,
time,
9, 7, 5.
Yeah. No, what's the big issue with going to 4 digits with money?
So is that 9 or 5 again?
We talked about the whole as well.
It's a 5,
So I'd
Jess.
just say 43 quid.
43
Yes, not the
quid
last number.
to 2DP, yeah? Sorry, Josh. Do you want to come up and do these?
Oh, okay, sir.
I thought you might be. Okay, so £43 exactly to 2DP because money's always got to go to 2DP. Okay.
Money.
Why is that an estimate then?
Because it changes every day.
Because during acceleration, you're using more fuel and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. If it depends how you're driving. Actually, if you're driving at a steady pace, then it will be 60. But it says here approximately. That's the key word why that is an estimation. But it does depend how you drive.
Do you drive well, sir?
I do all right. I get depressed if I go under a certain amount. My car tells me how many miles to the gallon I'm doing. And if it's under 40, I'm in a bad mood. It's cost me more
Just
money.
drive around.
What do you drive?
VW Polo.
Is that a Volkswagen?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it.
I was in the Mercedes Museum in Germany, sir, so that's...
I bet it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll live it on your Snapchat.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to watch it,
We
okay?
had to skip the
Like,
film.
point.
It's been on for ages.
Okay, and for a stick this into your calculator, it's very, very similar to the quadratic formula in terms of what you do. What do you change your letters for?
Numbers.
Open brackets, and then what do you stick in the open brackets? The numbers. So R 6.2 and T minus 3.1. And if you stick that into your calculator, you cannot go wrong. It's 2 of the easiest marks on the entire 2 papers.
Will there be something like this?
6.2. 6.2. Go back.
Well spotted. It's amazing having this little camera above everything. I like this. So when people say, "Oh, I haven't got the same answer as you," it can be as simple as something like that. It could either be me or it could be you.
Probably you.
Yes, it is probably me. There's no need for that to go on over the microphone, was there? You almost know, it's like Kellen, because you're looking at, it's Jess. Right? You look the guiltiest.
I was eating.
Oh, that's why you were looking guilty then. And then exactly the same is true here for part B. Just change the letter for open brackets. That's all I'm doing to begin with. What's going in the first one?
Half square.
Half. What's going on in the second one?
Plus.
3/4. That's all you do. And you literally just write that in as it looks into your calculator. And providing you don't put it in wrong, you can mup it, then you'll be fine. Oh, don't worry, I'm putting myself firmly in that bracket.
It's as simple as that.
Get it.
That's it. Done. 11 over 2, done. Which is 5.5. That for me is you know, 4 of the easiest marks known to man on GCSE paper.
It's gonna be cute.
Thanks for doing an impression. I didn't realise it sounded like Mr. T. From,
I think I'll just watch
I think
it.
everyone's
yes. This is what I call the afternoon blip.
Pardon?
This is what I call the afternoon blip.
So it's only Monday.
Yes.
Not quite as bad as the blip after the concert.
After the what?
Remember that's the day we came in after the concert.
Yeah,
So
but you
my
just.
dad said, when he thought it was really good, you gave me that odd look. Like, what are you doing?
That could have been any lesson.
I'll get it.
Whoops.
It's not the biggest
What?
No. Biggest
Yeah, how big it is?
It's bigger than my face.
Right then, 140 is a product of prime factors. It's hopefully, again, super easy marks.
I don't know how to read those.
Tell me 2 numbers at times to make 140. Don't include yourself in
14
1.
and 10.
14 and 10.
7 and 2.
Why am I going to circle 7 and 2?
Because 7 is prime, 2 is prime.
Good.
5 and 2.
Most common mistake here? 5 and 5 on the 10. They'll do everything else right. They'll mess up 10 and they mess up 6.
It's ridiculous.
10 is not 5 and 5. 6 is not 3 and 3. And they'll do everything right up until that point. So just make sure you're not one of those people. Because if you get your exam remarked because you're 1 off an A star and you find that you did 5 and 5 for 10, you will feel very, very depressed yourself. Yeah. So 140. Now, when you write it out, you should write it as a list first. You shouldn't go straight to this one here. You should write both of these, and there's a reason why you do it.
Because 3 marks, yeah, I'm not just going to give it away.
It says here the number. You were all very, very good at this actually, because I didn't give you a hint at all. This was coming up in your most recent mock, and lots of you got this mark. I was very pleased. It said the number 126 can be expressed as 2 times 3 times 3, or 3 squared times 7. Using this fact and your answer to part A, find the highest common factor. So what I do is I draw it as a Venn diagram. Have you seen this before? Yeah. So numbers that are in both. So I'm going to write that as 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. Numbers that are in both lists, you cross off and put just once in the middle. So 2 is in both lists, so 2 and 2 go. And then 3 isn't in either list, but 7 is in both lists, isn't it? So 7 goes in there. So what's left on the 140, on the 126, just 3 and 3? And what is left on the 140, it's 2 and 5, isn't it? So my HCF is 14, it's 2 times 7.
What is it if it's in the lowest common multiple?
Lowest common multiple is every single number in the Venn. So 3, 3, 2, 2, 7, 5, all times together. Okay? I'm going to write that in even though it doesn't ask me to do it, just so you know. Always write it in ascending order, because if you get asked to do it in your head, it came up on a non-calculator paper, which it hasn't this time, it's actually quite easy to answer this working backwards. So 7 times 5 is 35, 3 35s. 105, very good. And then times that by 3. Excellent, 315. Double it. Double it. Perfect. Okay, so that's why you write it in ascending order. It makes things a bit easier. Okay? All good? So the HCF is just what we call the intersection. The LCM is all of them. All good? Almost done now. Oh, last page. Boom.
12t to the power of 9.
If it's Luke.
Oh, give me the. See that phone? Yeah, I need it.
Which one?
That one.
That one.
The one next to it.
This one?
Where?
You've got
There.
No, there we go.
Why?
What did you say? I think
I said, is Luke here?
Probably friends and stuff.
I'm gonna watch it back now.
It's recording. So is this still recording?
So, can you put us up tonight? Please don't edit it.
Oh, I thought you were old enough, mature enough for me to not have to worry about it. What's
No,
it?
no, she said
Replay.
something wrong. I didn't hear it. She said something wrong.
She didn't. He's like,
I said, is Luke down here?
Right then, 3t squared times 4t to the power of 7.
12t to the power of 9.
12t to the power of 9. P to the power of 8 divided by p squared. P to the power of 4.
P6.
You sure?
oh yeah.
Good.
Minus it.
They'll try and put in little common misconceptions like that, so just watch out for them. This one here, expand the bracket first, so we're going to get 8x plus 12. X is on one side, numbers on the other. Let's take this 12 over to be minus 12. Minus 2 is equal to 8x minus 8. Then minus 14 equals 7x. So minus 2 equals x. All good?
Hang on a minute.
Chuck it in, check if you want. Minus 2 is? Minus 4. So this side is minus 4, that means this side is going to be minus 4. 2 times minus 2 is? Minus 4. Add 3. Minus 1. 4 times minus 1? Minus 4 again. Yeah. Fine. It's perfect. Okay. Find the area of the above shape. What shape does it look like when it's been pushed over? Rectangle. So it's going to be base times height. Okay. Be careful. Height. Very good. Height is not the 4.5. It's got to be going at right angles, what we call perpendicular. So you want to see the 12.6 times 3.2. I don't know what that is. That goes into a calculator. Centimetres squared. Someone help me out?
Sir, I think the answer is 40.3.
Yeah, it's 40. You said you think about it.
Okay. And final one. A regular polygon. So regular meaning? Regular
These
means
have the same size and angles.
regular meaning they have the same size and angles. Has an exterior angle meaning? Outside angle. What do all exterior angles add up to? Good.
360 divided by 20.
Good. So 360. Regular meaning the same. So equal to 225. So basically what I would have had to have done was 360 divided by a number of sides, which I'll just call n for number of sides, is equal to 22.5. Now the problem is I need to get n on its own. So effectively I'm going to take this divided by n over here and it'll become a times by n. Then I'll take this 22.5 over as a times by n. It'll turn back to divide. In other words, you can just switch them like that.
Can you put 22.5 over 1 and then switch everything like that?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I just did 360.
Yeah. And then take over as a times by. Yeah, that would work as well. It does the same thing. Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing it's 16. That's my number of sides. Okay. The reason why that works, if you're ever unsure, just do like a few little workings out by the side. For instance, 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. Is that true?
Yeah.
What if I switch top and bottom? Switch these two. Is that still true? It is, isn't it? Okay, so if you ever need to just revert back to numbers to check. Okay?